first, woosah. Just let it out. Breathe. It's not the end of the world. Universe, why pick me? This is the question that maybe you need to ask yourself, or you need to ask openly, and just allow the answers to come to you. Don't even react to them. Just listen to it, right? Universe, why pick me? Why pick me for whatever love you wanted me to spread in this world, create? Why pick me for this mission? Why? All I want to do is give into despair like everyone I see. So why pick me? Remember that part in Moana when she when she threw it right in the ocean. I don't need this anymore. That heart of Te-Fiti, right? The thing that can rejuvenate the whole world. At the end of that movie, the thing that would have done that, I'm just gonna give it away. This is ridiculous. But the trial and the tribulation, until that point, she lost everything. Now, it was almost until you don't want it and you don't need it, where the influences and the programming doesn't have an ability to latch onto your soul anymore, because you don't want it and you don't need it. You don't even dream about it. You don't even fantasize about it. You know what? This is just something I don't need. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You don't need it. It's given to you. This matrix is, I want to say retarded, but it's beautiful because we only don't know how to use it. That's it. This matrix obeys who you are, which is God. You are a piece of that eternal flame here, renting this body. And this matrix obeys your command. You say this, this happens. You don't want that to happen so much, and you keep thinking about it, you keep thinking about it, you keep thinking about it. It might not happen in the same way, but other things might happen, bringing you to the same result. So you don't even understand the power of who you are, and giving it away, not needing it. It's just, I just want to live it. I don't want to claim it and obtain it. You can't obtain a dream. A dream is lived. You have to live the dream in the present time. It's not a fantasy, something that's like a milestone, something that's like a point to be at. A fantasy is almost irrational at a point in time, where we keep being irrational instead of imaginary. That imagination, that true spark of imagination, gets clouded and becomes irrational because of the programming that we allowed in. My karma hurts. Why? Because it feels like you're hitting yourself, which is true, because every positive thing that you do, a negative things happen because you created a space. So imagine you're at a 0 point, the in the grid, the middle point in the grid, and you decided to be positive. Something negative happens to create and balance that space out. But there are two types of negatives. There's a demonic negative and there's a spiritual negative. Spiritual negatives and potential, you can understand where that brings you. Your spirit got your back. These demonic negatives, these entities and principalities that we constantly face daily, eternally, it doesn't matter. They don't sleep because they're energetic, right? They want to live in this realm, but they live through us because we are the only ones allowed. We are the ones in charge of the temple. And think about it. Everything that you eat, mind, body, soul, spirit, is inhabiting that temple. So what are you allowing in? Your present is your past's results. The result of what you've done in your past is your present time. You are the narrator, the painter. You saw an image through a program, through a deception, or through truth, and kept trying to complete that image. And this is where you landed because that's the image that you saw. Now, the actions that you took to get there, it might have made this image a little bit different, but you know, perspective is everything. This image might be the root for the bigger image. So imagine just you create a box, right? And you fill in that box, the box is fully decorated, but you have no more space. Perspective, looking back on things, you can understand there was always space to create and be a new thing. There was always that canvas where you the narrator, you the painter, You, the author, can create. So this is your power. And this message is going to have an actual very, very big significance on you if you've been seeing ladybugs. A ladybug dropped in my lap. I was sitting here. I flinched real quick, and then I looked at it, and then just carried it outside of my room. Then, at the same time, I restarted this reading maybe 4 times because I could not figure out how to say this properly. I was like, nope, that's not it. But then another ladybug right on my light, just sitting here watching me talk. Now I just feel like Spirit is guiding me to talk about it. So a visitation of some lucky beings, lucky energy, lucky coincidences is on the way. Hands down, claim it. Just repeat it and own it. Own that. It's true. But don't need it and don't want it. This is something that you know God is going to give to you. Just live your life. Live your dream. Live, walk. Take those baby steps. When you rely on yourself, right? When you rely on yourself, your ego relies on self, right? It creates a unity. When ego relies on self, it creates a unity. All right. So, this is the Zin-Finity Board. It is an elementally energetic grid that flows on the 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind in a still life version. So, if you took it, like not a screenshot, but if you looked at the image before, that's your mind. And anything that you can think of is here on this board. And we put cards down in these places to hash it out and basically unblock the channels from the crown to the root so you can do whatever you want to do, right? So, the first part of the reading is Ayin. This is where we get the who, what, when, where, and why of the situation. It's not complicated. Who starts off like this. This is in a world of emanation. Your prosperity lies ahead. So look at this. There are archetype cards that I pull up and I put them on top of the oracle of who in the first place. So this is the archetype of the king. Prosperity lies ahead in your kinghood. There's a kingdom and a queendom. The queendom is inside of your body. The kingdom is everything in your heart space that you can claim and see outside of your body, right? That's the difference. So the wall, your skin, your intake, your mouth, right? Your throat chakra, everything that you ingest goes into that kingdom and queendom and it infiltrates it. You are the temple. So when you understand these analogies, you start to claim your power and who you are and who you actually allow to reside. And your word is bond. So these affirmations literally clear out your energy on an energetic level, spiritual, mental, all of it. And then the physical follows because it has no choice. But you can also do physical things. I don't know why that was so important. Prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. Now, you will soon be able to afford the thing you're dreaming of. So many pentacles came out in this reading. I was looking for a lot of fire, and it didn't come out until we got to emotion. A lot of fire didn't come out until we got to emotion. So, we're going to talk about that. Getting clear on what you value most will help you find peace. Take some time out to pamper yourself. Start a standing order to a savings account, no matter how small. Make the first move. That's what it's about. Now, getting clear, you have a vision board, throw it away. Start over. Or use the vision board as a stencil and pick out only the things that matter to you now. Or that you understand, put one pile, completed, pile that where you want to go. Because getting clear on where you want to go gives you that mental image, that canvas, those lines to color in with your spirit. You understand? To fill the space. Yeah. Prosperity. When you do that, your kingship. You are the ruler. So, that was who, what is balanced spirituality and practicality. Now, this is the full moon in Pisces. Let's get it. You are in a super romantic but not super realistic state. Now, romance is dead. I don't even really need to talk about this. Follow your intuition, it won't let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. Now, There's no such thing as an end of a dream. The dream is lived in the present time, and it continues, and you keep coming back down here to live different dreams. So it don't even matter. The dream is never ending. That's the fantasy. And the fantasy needs to be healed, meaning the program that you... Okay, fantasies are usually created from fear. Because in the perfect world that you're trying to build, you would be fearless or don't even have the need to be courageous. Like, everything is handled in that perfect world. No fear, no this, no that. I got everything I need. I can just pass on now, and I'm okay with it. That's the fantasy. The dream has constant challenges because it's about evolution there. Fantasy is, I just want to waste my time here. I don't know why I laugh. It's a waste of time to live for your fantasies, because dream eat the fantasies. Now, romance is dead. Necromancy, right? Look them up. Etymology. Romance is dead. Romance is a bar that goes up and down. You give... See? You give in. You do something for somebody, and it breeds a potential for them to do something back to you. And this energy compounds on each other, creating a good romance in the scope of love, which love is movement, not lumerance. Look these words up. These words have power. Words are spells. Spells, you spell out with your tongue, the wand, right? And you cast it, you speak it into existence. The cast is all these perspectives in your mind. We're going to get to that later. That was what? When is the energy is gaining momentum, the waxing moon. And this energy is the castle. I forgot to talk about what? The healer. That's healer energy. Balance and spirituality and practicality. That's healer energy. The energy is gaining momentum. And this is the waxing moon. So, this situation is full of potential. Understand that romance is in potential. The romance is in potential. This is why it's not real. It's dead. It's always in potential. And any action can cancel the potential. So this is why romance is fleeting. You understand? Your situation is full of potential. Your dream can come true. More effort is yet required. Are you willing to give it? Review your goals, the vision board, right? And ensure you're still committed. Because you already have some of these things. That vision is old. You are a different person back then. You need new guidance. And this guidance can come through your intuition when you put that vision board into order again. So that's when, right? And it's this castle energy. The castle, the kingdom, and the flag. Now, think of the castle as your home. The kingdom is everything outside the home that can impact it. And the flag is the court. The king, queen, all the people, bishop, knight, rook, whatever you want to call it, that has precedence, right? That create the home. They manage the home. So those are the three elements. And romance comes into play for some reason. Because it builds you up. If it's correct. If it's true. If it's genuine. Sometimes people can romance you into doing certain things from them. But romance is not just relationship. Somebody can be romantic when it comes to a business deal. Oh, this is going to happen, and this is going to be great, and you're going to look like this, and this is going to be great, and all you need to do is this. Now, we be so blind, like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and we not even looking at the consequences. Then they be like, I got you. Every contract is almost, it feels like that. Every contract feels like you're obligated now to what that fantasy that they put in front of your face was. Crazy. Where it's always in the spirit, and it's time to take action. New moon in Aries. So do your best and be happy with that. Avoid being brash right now. You need a 12-month plan, and a new male is coming into your life. So let's talk about the masculine energies at play. Physical is not a masculine energy. That's a feminine energy. Spirit is a feminine energy. Shadow is a feminine energy. Okay? Your soul is masculine. Your ego is masculine. And your mental space is masculine. And these energies hash it out and battle within ether space, right? Somebody needed to hear that. That was very important, because there's so many distractions that come up. And when you're trying to portray, when you're trying to create an image, when you're trying to get through to somebody, oh, that's what it is. The open channels, that was in my other reading. Sometimes these chakras, they're doors. They're doors that are open or closed. And it's up to the resonance. Whatever you're resonating with is an open door to that energy, right? If you resonate with something low, the door is open to it. So if somebody does something negative to you, there's a spiritual energy, almost like a kamehameha, coming towards your door. And you have the choice to keep the door closed, which means, I know what this is. I don't need this in my life. I'm going to walk away from it. I'm going to respond in a way that keeps this energy away. Or you're going to react. That means that energy came through an open door. According to you allowed that. That energy infested you. And now you have the potential to do something with this negative energy. What are you going to do with it? And usually this all happens in a split second. The reaction comes. If you allow it in, the reaction comes. Usually. Will we still have the strength to not react, even if it was able to affect you? So that was very important. Now, this is why the main focus. Well, time to take action. You are the one, right? This is the one energy. Now, God is nothing, nowhere, and nobody. I'm going to keep saying it. God is nothing, nowhere, and nobody. And I can prove it by faith. What are you believing in? Nothing. Nowhere, nobody. But it gets the job done every time. Correct? You don't know where it's coming from. You don't even, it's all imaginary. Like, this thing is here protecting me, but you believed it. And that's the trust. And, let me keep going on. This is why the maiden, it's time to release negative energy, full moon in Scorpio. So, it's time to move on from living fearfully to living joyfully, right? You're right to have your suspicions. Grudges are toxic. Let something go. The end of an argument. So this is where, and it's an internal battle, an argument between what your ego, the programmed ego, the unguided ego wants, right? A battle from what they want, from what your divine spirit already knows. The entities, the spiritual entities you've allowed in, is battling each other at the same time your spirit is battling your ego. So it's like a 2-on-1. You feel me? Work with your spirit, your shadow, to conquer that negativity and claim your potential space, that shadow space. That shadow space is yours. In any anime, they always have this dimension space. Like, you can just walk through a door and enter into a space that's only yours, right? Now that's that spiritual world. That's that spiritual space. But you can also allow people into that space. And what happens with it? You can allow energies into that space that's not yours. And what happens with it? Reactions. A lot of different type of reactions. And that's what the enemy wants out of you. Because a reaction is something that can be farmed. A reaction is like a well. I'm going to keep going to this well to get my lifeblood that I can survive off of, says the enemy, according to your reactions. Oh, it's good over here. It's lucrative over here. I'm going to keep coming back to this vessel. This one right here is going to keep me going eternally, right? And you know what? I'm going to spread this energy because I'm going to make this person, the one who's conquered by those programming, right? I'm going to make this person do something to somebody else. And that's my energy, my kamehameha, into that next vessel, right? And if that vessel allows me in there, I'm going to start conquering that from the inside out too. So it's almost like a virus also. It happens that way. And when you do not react, you respond to these situations. You can have a wrong response, but it's still not full claim over your soul, your spiritual energy. You did that. You decided to do something with that. We have free will, but it was not their will. It was yours. It's still better than allowing them to take control over you. You're not a prisoner. You're not a prisoner. I don't know why I said that. You're not a prisoner. That's who, what, when, where, and why. The next energies are very simple. These are the perspectives in your mind. Imagine your perspectives. This is Soph, by the way. Imagine your perspectives are people in your spiritual space ordained to be there, right? That's your perspectives, right? But they all have a different name. One of them has a name that says I am, I feel, I think, I do, I love, I desire, I will, I need, I want, I know, and I be. These are all different people in your mind. And now we're going to see the conversation between them, whether they are balanced within you or not. Right? Starting off with the first energy, I be. Starting from the crown, we're going to clear it down to the root. These are all the Sephiroth, and it's the crown chakra, Ketha. 5 of Swords. Let's get it. So this is unbridled ambition, winning at all costs, and sneakiness. Now, for who you're going to be, it's almost like war to be yourself. You're at war with these people around you, trying to be who you're ordained to be. And magnetics is an energy that you should heed. Magnetics talks about the positive and the energetic flow. Is this being repulsed? Is it being pushed away from you? Or are you, your spirit, magnetized to it? But you can force magnetize to something because your ego, right, with all of these feelings, is telling your spirit that, no, I think that this is the way we should go. And your spirit is going to be there. Is your spirit a prisoner? No. That's another piece of you that has a say also in this person you call the temple, which is your name. You're the temple. That's the name of the temple, is your name. You're not even the name that you call yourself. This is so crazy. The perspective that a lot of us speak from is I. And I only is inhabited by the ego in the mental space. That's what you call I. There's so much more to your mind. I know, I this, I that, I, right? There's so much more. So the next energy is I want. This is in the space of... The next one is Bina, right? This is a part of the third eye. But let's keep going. It started off with the Knight of Cups, and then went to the 9 of Swords, and then the 2 of Pentacles, which came out also over here within your root chakra, your manifestational energy, what gets you rooted, right? This matches, and that's perfect. And let's talk about it. So, Knight of Cups. This was the energy that was off suit. It shouldn't be here. Following the heart, idealistic, and romantic. Remember what I just said about romance. Romance is just potential. That's a bar. Like you got 50% left of energy, of potential for this person, or you have 100% of potential for this person. It's just a bar that goes up and down. You use that potential. And you guys, as the people in a relationship, you guys compound off of that spiritual energy. And it's a greater force between you two magnetically, right? It's just what it is. But it's all imaginary. It's all idealistic. And you have to believe in each other in order to keep this up. Because so many entities, that's a lot of energy. Imagine that's a whole well that the enemy can never reach the bottom of to retrieve from. Now, everybody wants to be there because it's unlimited water. There's a rumor that there's unlimited energy here. And there's something that I can take. They want to take that from you. They want to take your power. You can't let them in. That's important. Whoever you let in did this to you. The 9 of Swords. Anxiety, hopelessness, and trauma. Why? Because they love to paint that fantasy image. Oh, no, it's definitely going to be like this with me. It's definitely going to be like this with me. It's going to be like this? Oh, really? Me, the gullible person? Oh, you, the gullible person? Oh, it's going to be like this? Oh, right? And then you start living with them. You start walking with them. And the next thing you know, that image, there was an outline given to you. And that's not the outline being formed. So they coloring all outside the edges. All outside the lines. It's not a beautiful image. Some toddler made this, right? I don't think I want to do this anymore. This is where we were going. I thought there was these lines. But when you look from their perspective, they're painting a whole different thing, and they're making you, they're taking your color, your energy to paint it. It's crazy. And then went from there to the Two of Pentacles, which balanced out with your manifestations. Now this is balancing decisions, priorities, and adapting to change. What is the change? The change that happens when you recognize what it really was and the way you need to move in order to, like I said, win that war that everybody has against you from you being yourself. Alright, so this is the story that's being created right now. Let's keep going. The next energy is I need. Now, needing is spiritual. Your spirit knows what you need. Your mind knows what you want. Your mental space knows what you want. Your mind is the whole thing. So we always get confused by that. The Hangman. Sacrifice, release, and martyrdom. Now this energy is on suit. That was off suit. What you want, you're not going to go after until you understand that you need balance. And what brings you balance is the Hangman. Allowance. But allowing the magnetic energy to run its course. Allowing spirit to push these things away and pull the new things in. Because you resonate higher. Your magnetics does not mesh with that stuff anymore. And this is why your ego is trying to hold it on. Those are heartstrings, right? It's trying to hold on to this thing that's being pushed away by your spirit. There's a reason for that. And when you let go of the control with what comes to you and leaves you, you get to understand what you need for the dream in the present time. It's like, okay, you had everything, you didn't know what to use. Oh, God says, oh, okay, let me take all this stuff away. Now you're not confused, right? This is the only thing you can use. And it's about our ignorance. How many times does God need to show us? It is going to get more obvious and more obvious. And as it gets more obvious, you have less ability to do everything. And it's like you just need that focus. So I don't know what to say after that. How many messages do you need before you go in the direction that spirit is pointing? Right? Next energy is I know. And this is the Fool energy. Also on suit, it should be air, fire. It's on the air side. Now the Fool is innocence, new beginning, wonder, and foolishness. Now, why is this good to be here? The new imaginations that you have, you're deciding to have that foolish energy that says, you know what? You only live once. And you're going to do that thing because there's an image, there's an end result that you're willing to fight for. You're willing to put everything aside. You're willing to let go of everything. And people think it's, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I would have never did that. Those are the naysayers that have nothing to do with your life and almost acting as the equal and the opposite energy that gets you to go back to that filth again. They're pushing you back because that demiurge, that negative energy, wants you to stop. You're about to claim some of its space. You know how the devil is the ruler of this space, and the better and the bigger and the more you become yourself, the more your aura gets bigger, right? Just imagine it. Now you're claiming more space than was allowed by these entities in this world. You can't have that much power. We got to take this away from you. Anybody who rises up, you have to understand, they go after everything. They go after everything that they can to break this person down, to keep them in a dormant state, to don't do nothing. I don't want you to do nothing. You're too good at it. Don't do nothing. Y'all know the Job story. Job could have did a lot. How much was taken away from him, and what did he do afterwards? These are I don't know why I said Job, your job. It forces you to do a lot, but it also takes from you. And a lot of people who go into business for themselves get their time back. That's important too. The next energy is I will. And this is a special one. It started off with the Chariot. This is my energy. And this is the energy of Cancer, which is the 9 on the tree of life, right? 999 energy. This is the 999 portal. And this is the reason why I wanted to get this reading out so bad. The Chariot came up in the place of the wheel, then the Page of Cups, and then the Seven of Pentacles. So let's start off with this Chariot. This Chariot energy is off and the page is off. Water should not be over here. You can't get anything started with just emotions. You need to act on it with your body being physical, or you're planning it out with your mind, right? One of those two things is going to get you there. Not just the emotions. The emotions are the energy to do these physical and mental things. That's just the power source. So the Chariot energy, direction, control, and willpower. Now, your ego has that direction. By your ego is trying to direct itself, direct the temple in this way, right? Your ego is trying to hold the reins, but the ego is more of the beast. We are the beast, right? Us. We say, no, we're going to go this way, but spirit has the reins, but are we listening to it? The reins are energetic. You have to listen to the signs, right? Then it went from there to the Page of Cups, which is still off suit, right? And this is happy, surprise, dreamer, and sensitivity. Now, are you surprised of where you are when you feel like when you're not ignorant to the decisions that you've made? Are you surprised? And you're just looking at this, yup, this is my cup. I definitely poured this cup. This is mine. But there's a sense of accountability. And that shocked you into, I know I said shocked you, into the energy of the Seven of Pentacles, which is hard work, perseverance, and diligence. Oh, I see my faults. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. But you also can't force somebody to see it because they don't resonate high enough to see from that perspective anyway. So you can't raise them up by attacking them, right? You have to build them up for them to see out of their own tower, that high perspective, and understand that they need to be better than they are right now. Hence that tower moment. But you can't force it. They have to want to grow. You can't force them to grow. Next is I desire, right? This energy started off with the world. The world, you desire the world. Everything that you've seen that brings you to that sense of security. Because at this point, you're just fighting for security. You're just fighting for peace. Let me just have a stable ground. That's all I want, is stable ground. I don't want to do nothing with the stable ground. I just want to have peace. That's it. I don't want to evolve. Because once you start to evolve, the devil say, attack, 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 attack. Oh, you just want peace? Cool. You're not going to do anything else. You're not going to change this world. You're not going to try to take my power. You just want to be balanced? Okay, cool. That's the end goal? Okay, cool. A cog in the wheel. Or a cog outside of the wheel. Still no movement. Put it into your own system. Be your own guidance. So it started from the world, and it went to the Temperance, then the Ace of Pentacles, then the Empress reverse, and then it finished off with the Five of Swords. Right? So let's start off with the world. Fulfillment, harmony, and completion. Now, like I said, you desire everything that you saw. The jealousy. The jealousy is coming in, and it's talking about how others are not deserving of that image that you now put on your vision board. Everybody is deserving of it if they've worked for it. You don't know what that person is going through with that dream, with that little piece that you say you need. You don't know what it requires to maintain something like that. You see it from the perspective of, I don't have this. And that's also a crazy perspective to have, because when you understand soul matrix, you rule what comes to you. You rule what comes to this temple. It's all up to you, but they've detached us from that power. And and went from there to the Temperance, and that's still off, right? This is not the energy to have here. Middle path, patience, and finding meaning. Now, the divine path, that narrow path, you stay on it. You stay on track by being magnetic to it. If you're magnetic, hands-free, you are always on divine path. You are always there, because it's the things that come towards you. You figure it out, you hash it out, and figure out how to get past it, like Temple Run. The next energy, watch this. Ace of Pentacles. Opportunity, prosperity, and new adventure. This is your ego saying, I know what to do now. Oh, this didn't work. I know what to do. I'm going to control the outcome because this is fantasy that I see my peace at. I see how my life is going to turn out if I do these things and these things only. And if I do these other things, they're not going to get me to where I dream of. Right? Then the Empress came up. It's reversed. So let's see what it said. So you can see how this story is panning out. This is the place of desire still. And it says smothering, excess, and selfishness. Not that you're sitting in your power. You're pushing your power on everything. I'm this, so this must be here. And I'm this, and this must be here. That's the ego trying to pull it towards you. But it's repulsed by your spirit. So who you think is going to win? Your spirit, who knows the truth? Or your ego, who's learning it? Which one you think has more power? Eventually, you're going to give in anyway and just allow and manage the things that come to you in the first place. And ended up with the 5 of Swords. Unbridled ambition, winning at all costs, and sneakiness. I just remembered, I didn't even do this one right on your being. It was reversed. So let's read the reverse real quick since I did it wrong. Lingering resentment, desire to reconcile, and a desire to forgive. So your being, you have a desire to forgive yourself for your mistakes. So therefore, your mistakes are not detriments to your life. They're building blocks to your being. And these mistakes correct what you truly desire, bringing it into a sense of unbridled ambition and winning at all costs, and even being sneaky with the desires. You know what? I'm going to manipulate the enemy. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is definitely affecting me, bring it. This is, yeah, they're thinking they're winning, but they're not getting the same result. They're not getting that same energy reaction that they got before. Because like I said, reaction is like a well, and they're getting from that well. That's your spiritual energy, right? That's that reaction. I'm gonna eat. They trying to eat off of you. You know what? When you start to manipulate this world and eat off of it, rightfully, they can't even touch you. And that brings you up to I love, the Knight of Swords. This is your heart space. What has been conquered by what you can do with your time, money, and abilities. So you have the ability to work, but you also have the ability to work for yourself, right? Your time, space, and money. That's your heart space. That's basically, that's the space within your heart. So that's very important. The Knight of Swords. Action, impulsiveness, and defending beliefs. This is a double-edged sword. Why? Because do you believe in lies or do you believe in truth? Regardless, your heart is going to defend it. And even though your heart has that ability, that's during ignorance. Hopefully, you have common sense, which is divine intelligence, to understand the negatives of the situation. As they said, Adam and Eve bit the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. It's the knowledge of good and evil. We have this knowledge within us of good and evil. Which one do we choose, right? The next energy is I do and I think. Now, this is the solar plexus. The solar plexus is not fire, it's pressure. Pressure creates heat. Piezoelectric energy. Look it up. Right. So the pressure to do, the pressure not to do, and the pressure to think, and the pressure not to think. That's the solar plexus. And that's what battles, and that's what you need. We're going to keep going. Right? It started off with the 7 of Swords, then to the 8 of Pentacles, right? 7 of Swords. This is deception, trickery, tactics, and strategy. So the sneakiness and the trickery, you can't trick God into thinking that you're ready for that new blessing, even if it's the one that's ordained for you. You got to level up in order. You got to level up in order. You can't just think that you're good for it right now. You have to be it. Being is the crown chakra, and being allows that energy to, it opens the door for what you're talking about. If you're not what you say you are, how could you bring it in your life? Then it came up to the Eight of Pentacles, which cleared it. Diligence, passion, and high standards. Now, what standards are you living by now? Your perspectives, your true perspective standards. The standards of your dream. Your dream requires you to live a certain way in your present life. Your dream requires you to be diligent and do these things presently. And be good with those things. Get used to those things till it doesn't affect you anymore. Like, oh, this is hard to do. No, it becomes easy because you are God and you can learn and all this other stuff. You get better with time. So that's what you're doing right now. You're not thinking about these things and you're not doing these things. God is no. I think I said this already. God is nothing, nowhere, nobody. But also the word no. That's the power of no. No, I'm not going to drink anymore. No, I'm not going to drink before I do this thing. No, I'm not going to smoke. No, I'm not going to smoke before I do this thing. How many no's? If you claim your power of no, you will be the ultimate being by tomorrow. It's certain things I still say yes to, which means I'm allowing it in. I'm allowing it to affect me. But I have the power of no, which is God, right? I know this is making sense. I know this is making sense. Next energy is I feel. It started off with the Ace of Swords. Let's get this. Breakthrough, clarity, and sharp mind, not sharp feelings. You're reacting, or you're being dull to your feelings. You know what? I know I felt this way about this, the way this person talked about me. I know that made me feel a way, but I'm not gonna allow my feelings to even respond to it. You don't even want to respond to it. You just... But you also have no movement. You don't got that power source, the spiritual source to get it to overcome. You just decided to, this is a mental thing. I'm not gonna, it didn't affect me, but it actually did. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to your feelings. You're lying about your feelings. And it went from Ace of Swords to the Ace of Wands. Right. Creation, willpower, inspiration, and desire. You desire your fantasy to be that real thing. You know, I'm gonna block out these emotions, but then go for what my ego is telling me. I'm gonna completely abandon what my spirit is telling me and go my own way with it. This is your feelings. Feelings are the things that we can actually see and process. Emotions are all potential. You do not see emotions. You see feelings. Feelings are expressed. We can see that. We cannot see emotions. I had to say it again. Okay. The next, the Queen of Wands. Let's get it. Courage, determination, and joy. You have already forgiven yourself for what you've done. And you understand that you are courageous in these negative efforts against your divinity, right? You were courageous in it. You were also mistaken and misguided, misunderstood. All the misses, right? All of them. But you're okay with that now. That's all training. That's all baggage now. But baggage can be unpacked for power. When you attack your baggage, you claim power. Next, Two of Wands. This is where all the fire came out. This is where your mind is so focused. You're focused on blocking that energy, that spirit, your emotions. Your mind is all focused on blocking these emotions. Or these people around you do not care. Completely apathetic to how you feel. Of course they can't be in your life. But they're literally painting that false image and making you believe different. Then it was the Ten of Swords reverse. I always talk about the Ten of Swords and how it's keys, right? So the reverse of these keys is can't get any worse than this. It's only up from here. The inevitable end. This is rock bottom. This is rock bottom. Rock bottom is the place to be. Do not ever leave the foundation of rock bottom. Why? Because that's the face of self. They keep saying that we're falling in the sunken place. All of this, drowning, sea level, the sea bottom, the bottom of the sea floor, sinking all the way to the bottom of the sea floor. But understand this: the face of self is the King's Landing. And I don't know why I always say that's the King's Landing. I don't even really get why I say that yet. I'm gonna understand it later. But the face of self is where the kingdom is actually built. If you relying and having accountability on self, it's stable ground, it's sturdy. Nobody can do anything about the things that you can do for yourself. You're not giving them, you have free will, right? You will open the door to that, or you will close the door to that. It's simple. Then it went from there to the Four of Pentacles: conservation, security, and frugality. Why? Because you're done with it. I'm going to use all of these things I went through, all of the truths, all of the things that God has said no to me as a building block. Oh, I can't do this. This is a definite. So it's something concrete that I cannot do. I'm going to put that on my tower. I'm going to just build the tower with that. Oh, that's a no, God. I'm going to make sure I stay away from that. And that's something you can stand on. I'm going to put that on my tower. I'm going to put that in my kingdom. These things are becoming prevalent to you. And now you're not even letting go of what you can build on your foundation. And then it brought you to the Knight of Cups. So it started... Oh, there you go. That's why. So the Knight of Swords right here and the Knight of Cups. I didn't even realize that until just now. So the Knight of Cups is following the heart, idealistic, and romantic. The Knight of Swords is action, impulsiveness, and defending beliefs. Now, you are impulsively following your heart. And that's where the Temperance over here was misguided. Temperance is in the middle, or the direct connection between your heart and your emotional space. You know, the sacral chakra, what is it? Yesod and Tiferet. Temperance is right in the middle of that. But it was misguided on the spiritual side because you believed that that was the goal. You believed in a fantasy. But that's okay. You forgive yourself. And only the dream is fought for now. So all of this reckless sneakiness that you have when it came up to how you were misguided, it turned into straight planning and organization and battle plans and all of these things that keep you protected. All of that sneakiness, that war, oh man, the war that you have with yourself is greater than the one that's outside. So you're protected because the outside world resonates lower than who you are. They don't have access. The door's closed. The next and last energy in a place of I am was the Two of Pentacles. And that was talking about your direction in the first place. And this is balancing decisions, priorities, and adapting to change. Now, this is important to happen because all of the change in emotions and everything that you had to acknowledge and resonate with and be accountable for, you're able to use that as solid ground. Okay, this is who I am. Okay, this is where I am now. Okay, and that's a stable place to build on because it's not a lie. It's the truth. You build on truth. The truth is you do not have these certain abilities to get to that place yet. That's the truth. And that's something that if you stuck your head out on, if you just didn't care about anybody who thought negative of that present person, that present self of who you are, and your fullness, then you just walk. Nobody can affect you. Okay, and yes, that's me. Okay. They will only be pointing out your greatness. And as I said before, your enemies see your greatness before even your friends. Because the enemies want to push you down because they can never reach that high. They see it. They see your fullness. Enemies are the first ones to tell you. But it comes out in a reverse way. So, the next part of the reading is Or. And we're going to get these cards out real quickly. I put these out first. I barely only saw one. That was the fish. And I forgot where it even came out. I think it was third. So, in this part of the reading, we talk about the mechanical side of things. The physical, things that we can do. experiment with. How we can experiment with things, how we can express, how we can integrate, how we can transcend, and how we can ascend, which means evolve, right? You level up in Pokemon, and then you evolve the Pokemon. Two different things, right? So the first energy that came up was trust. You can experiment with the sense of trust. You can express air energy. Now, that's formation. You can express through the forms, the divine forms given to you. You can express through common sense, right? Then it's integration. You can integrate all of the lessons from your past lives. Now, you can think that's you've actually lived a life before in a different body, or who you used to be is also a past life. So the lessons from there, you can integrate it. Okay, I'm not this way anymore, but when I lived that life, I used to try to manipulate, or they used to try to manipulate me in this way. So when I get to this level, it's just new levels, new devils. But that's an attack I'm familiar with, and I know how to defend it already. So imagine all the lives that you lived, spiritually too, in actual past lives. That's helping you. Your ancestors, they live these lives. They're helping you. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And it's always spiritual, right? Then it went from there to meditation and transcendence. This is how you level up. Meditation, to hash out some of that baggage between what you actually desire and what you desire and wait for before, and these karmic outputs, these karmic effects. It's just what it is. And this is how you evolve or ascend, become greater, right? Safe travel. So the archetypes that came out with these are, with the experimentation, is the owl. With the expression, these are the animal archetypes, right? The expression is the cheetah. The integration is the fire ant, right? The transcendence is the fish. That's the one I saw. And the ascendance is the lion. So let's get this really quickly. Experimentation is trust. Step into the unknown. You do not know. Do you know it? No. And that's God's realm. God's realm of no. The imaginary. What could be. The possibilities. You don't know it. So step into the unknown. Step into God's realm. And live peacefully there. Know that you are safe there. Know that you are covered, protected, and all of it. Because as you rely on God, God has to let you know. God got it. I'm not going to do anything about it. And any action has an equal and opposite reaction. I'm not going to do anything about this. But God can, because you abstain from it. And for the people who are sciencey in the mind, quantum physics, the observer effect. It is not true until I see it. Or it's not true until I act on it. The imagination that you have, it can just be imaginations. It can just be imaginations. And it's not true until you do it. I don't know why I needed to say that. I don't know how else to express this. But I hope you got it. So that trust has to do with the owl energy. Now, the owl looks like a toroid, or toroidal field energy with the eyes. And it's always looked at that. Like that, I think it's the Gemini energy. One of my best friends loves owls, so that's how I always connected him and Gemini. He don't even know that he likes he don't even know. It's crazy. But yeah, that owl, that 180 almost 270 field of vision. I forgot how far a vision that they have, but they can see all over. It's not many points that they cannot see from. But when it talks about, that's a lot of tunnel vision, but it's tunnel vision everywhere. That's what that was about. Tunnel vision in all areas of what you can do best. Everything else doesn't matter. Build up from yourself. And that's the start. Expression. Cheetah with the air. Logic, critical thinking, facts, information, research, and reasoning are required at this time. You may also need more information before proceeding. Before being fast with all of the action. Maybe you need more information. You know, a map. Maybe you need a map before you take an adventure, correct? Also, maybe you need information on the map. Maybe you need the best way to get there. Maybe you need the fastest route. Maybe you need to understand an alternate route just in case if one closes. So this cheetah energy, the one that's going to go after it at 70 miles an hour, you think he's looking at everything? You think that cheetah's looking at everything but that one thing? Focus. How much focus can you have when you're thinking logically? The next is integration, and this is fire ants. I follow somebody that breeds fire ants or just takes care of the fire ants, whatever it's called. Now, this has to do with the past life energy. You are being drawn to sacred spaces, ancient knowledge, past life, ancient wisdom, and holy gifts. The connection to your current relationship or situation has deep roots, and is perhaps much more than you may have anticipated. Dive into ancient wisdom for your answers at this time. Now, you know the colony, the only thing that you can really see out of the colony is the mound. But think of it as the temple. That's the protection for what's under it, what you dig deep into. Your past life, everything, all your decisions is reflected by the dirt and the tunnels and the sections and all these other things. Now, they also help the mound and the colony get bigger and stronger. That's about that past life. What they did before, then a flood comes, right? Now, this mound, what can it do against that water? Miracles, all this other stuff. It's time tested. This mound is very important, and I don't know why, but the past life, I didn't even realize it, is the mound, is the temple. So that two mound energies, the mound, at the batter's box, the mound, taking stand, going into place, be willing to swing. That's integration. Now, that's what you integrate. I don't know why that came up. So meditation and the fish. You know, Pisces is a double fish. So one side of the fish is here right now. And this is the place of Leo. So the lion is eating the fish right now. The lion in you ate one part of you. Right. So understand that. For some reason I said you are the only one that's allowed to pray on your inner space. And this is why you need meditation to figure out why and who can pray on you. Drawing this card asks you to create more stillness in your life. You utilize meditation, breathwork, and other gentle activities to relieve stress and bring more peace into your life, into your being. Your being, the sneakiness. You don't have to be sneaky. You can just be yourself and be bold about it. The more bolder you are, the more manifested you are in this world. Your current situation may become distracting to you, so more quiet time and less attachment are required. Yeah. The next and last energy of the reading is ascendance, right? How you ascend or evolve. Now, this started with safe travel, and this is the lion energy. The lion is the Leo, but the Leo has to do, you know, Simba, the kingdom, everything that you see is yours. What do you choose to see? And what is it? How did you define it? If you defined a big plot of land, it's unmanageable, that's how you're going to see it. But through an eyes of a developer, that big unmanaged land is a canvas. Two different perspectives to see it. So which route are you taking with that? A trip, journey, or even a simple change of scenery is upon you. Meditate on this before you start a new adventure, move to a new home, or take a trip. Now, safe passage is with your wand. This is your throat chakra, the area of the throat chakra, the area of your aspiration, who you want, the area of the flag in the kingdom, what you stand for. So, safe travel is there. It's going to be almost impossibly easy to get to where you are. And you have to know that, because when you don't allow it in, it never affects you. I don't know why I had to say that, but that affected. Oh, okay. And this is about choosing a direction to go and sticking with it, and not having that ADD. Not to say that you have it and it's a mental thing, right? But not switching your mind, making split decisions, and taking different routes. This is about staying with the lane that God gave you, and not thinking that you know a better way to get there. It's been ordained for you. and it's the best way. So that's what it was. That's the message. That's the message is. So that was the end of the reading. I appreciate you for being here. If you are still here, I appreciate you. Hard body. You don't think you know. What I created is for all readers. This is the Zin-Finity Board. Imagine your favorite reader in my position right here with this knowledge. It's going to change the whole spiritual community. They're going to understand things that they never started to understand before. And all of the knowledge that you know, everything that you learn to reach that level, you'll be able to use this as a regular person too. But so will they. They'll be able to structure all of the things that they know, everything, and see it. It's so bananas. So I can't wait to get to that point. If you like it, shout me out. I appreciate you. Share it with your favorite reader. And with all that said and done, I'm Kafa. Peace.